Tomatillos are a key ingredient in traditional salsa, and they're easy to start from seed if you know a few tricks. So today I'd like to share with you how I start my tomatillo seeds and what variety of tomatillos I like to grow. This planting method will work for all tomatillo varieties. So tomatillos come in two different colors, green and purple, and the variety that I like to grow is Tomo Verde, which is a green variety, and it's also open pollinated, which means I can save the seed to grow a crop again next year. So we have a really short growing season, and I need to get the tomatillos going early. I need to get the tomatillos started early in the house so that we have a long enough growing season so I get tomatillos before our first fall frost. So I do cover the tomatillo plants in the fall to continue to harvest more tomatillos later in the season. So tomatillos are frost tender and can't take a frost, and they really don't mind being transplanted, and this is good for us because we can start the tomatillos in the house 8 weeks before we plant them in the garden. So here's my 5-step process to getting tomatillos ready to be planted in the garden. Number 1 is start time. It's important to start the plants at the right time. Too early and they will get leggy and weak, and too late and you may not get a crop. So start time is going to vary depending on your growing zone. So look up your last average frost date and then count back 8 weeks. For example, my last average frost date is May 15th, and 8 weeks back will be around March 15th. This is when I start my tomatillo seeds. Alright, number 2, planting the seeds in a small planting tray or pot. You want to use a seedling starter soil mix. The reason we want to use a seedling starter mix is because some seeds are sensitive to fertilizers and will not germinate if there are fertilizers in the soil. Alright, you're going to cover the seeds with 1/8 of an inch of soil, and then you're going to water them well. It's safer to start all your seeds in a seedling starter mix. We have our family secret seedling soil recipe mix, and it's available to you. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to go get it. And if you want to buy a pre-made mix, I would use Seed Starter Natural Potting Soil Mix. It's made in the USA, and it's what professional growers use. And I'll put a link in the description below so you can find the seedling starter mix. You will want 2 tomatillo plants per person that you are feeding. Now, if you're going to can salsa for the winter, plant double that. So for example, there are 4 people that I am feeding. I will plant 8 tomatillo plants for fresh eating and 8 for preserving. So that's 16 plants total. So I'm going to sow 32 seeds. Now the reason I want to sow so many seeds is that things can happen to the seedlings along the way, and I want to be sure that I have enough tomatillo plants to put in the ground. Now if I have extra plants, it's not a problem. I can just give some away. But I can never get back the time if I don't plant enough. So sow double what you want to plant. Alright, number 3, growing the plants in a tray under 12 hours of light and keep the night temperatures above 60 degrees. So once you see the first adult leaves starting to grow, it's time to transplant the seedlings into their own pots. This will happen around 3 weeks. Alright, number 4 is transplanting the seedlings, and you want to put them in organic potting soil. I like the Happy Frog potting soil. I really like this company because they understand how important the soil biology is for the plant's health. I'll put a link in the description below so you can go find that if you would like to. Now, if you want to make your own potting soil, go ahead and use our family secret seedling mix recipe and add 1 cup of compost for every 8 cups of seedling soil mix. You know, at this stage, the nutrients that came in the seed is used up, and the plant is now needing a source of nutrients in the soil. So compost will work best. If you don't have your own compost, I would use the Espoma Organic Land and Sea Gourmet Compost or worm castings. I like the Brute Organic Worm Castings. So there's a link in the description below for you to find the compost and the worm castings. So anytime you are selecting an amendment for your garden, make sure it has the OMRI listing or another organic certification. This is super important for the biology that lives around your plant's roots, and the biology helps your plants to be strong and healthy. So at this point, it's important to put your tomatillo plants outside during the day and back inside at night. So you want to start the plants with a few hours of sunlight and then back inside and add an hour of sunlight a day until they can be out in the sun all day long. And you want the temperatures to be above 60 degrees. Also keep them moist if you are hardening them off to be outside. All right, number 5, once you are on your average last frost date, go ahead and check your 10-day forecast. If there are no freezing nights, you can go ahead and plant your tomatillo plants outside. Now, if a storm is going to come through and freeze the plants, I would cover them with a frost blanket. There's a link in the description below for you to find the right type of frost blanket for your garden. Now, if you'd like to learn 3 low-tech frost protection systems for tomatoes and frost tender seedlings, you can check out our video. I'll put a link in the description below for that. And if you're wanting to learn how to grow $2,500 worth of organic vegetables in only 128 square feet, with only a 15-minute-a-day commitment, you can jump into the High Performance Garden Show. There are over 300 episodes for you to learn from. It's free, it's online, and you can find it at thelivingfarm.org/high-performance-garden-show, or I'll put a link in the description below.